What's going on, guys, and welcome back. I've made the worst decision of my life to wear an eye patch this entire video for your amusement and my pain, and mainly in honor of the newly buffed Nick Fury. Now, as you guys know, Devil Dinosaur has always been a pretty damn good card, but he's got a new partner in crime with, Samuel Jackson. Now, the decks we'll walk through today are going to be utilizing Nick Fury, Collector, and Devil Dinosaur. We're going to walk through the best of them, and I think they're great for not only the latter, but also clearing Conquest. We're going to teach everything you need to know, and we got to start with old Nick Fury and the 6-cost cards that he generates. Looking at this graphic here, I've organized the 6-cost cards in which I think are the best to pull, which ones are pretty average, and which ones are most likely bad when playing a Nick Fury deck. Obviously, Null is not a bad card, but in a Nick Fury pull, it's not going to be the best because, well, you're not looking to destroy much, but obviously some of these are much better than others, and let's break them down. Now, starting with the best pulls, guys, it's going to be things that just give you pure stats right off the bat, right? Obviously, Hulk is great. Magneto is magnificent to play against things like Discard. She-Hulk is going to be great to add to your already She-Hulk in a lot of these decks. Galactus can be clutch on turn 5, and even Null if you get them together. Doctor Doom, even with the nerf, is still a very good card to play for only 5 cost. If you have Quinjet down, Agatha actually isn't the worst, right? Because it's going to be a 5-cost card, and she'll play herself. Now, you can't pick where she goes, but still, it's 14 power, and that's pretty damn good. Now, obviously, if you don't have Quinjet, she's actually a pretty bad card. She can mess up a lot of the synergy. Leader is not terrible, depending on what your opponent plays. Very good against high Evo decks. I would say Onslaught is another favorite of mine because a lot of these are going to be having Darkhawk or Devil Dinosaur. So just playing him on the lane with one of those cards is pretty much a guaranteed win. Or playing him on Quinjet or Zabu for like a double discount. It gets crazy pretty fast. And then obviously stat-wise, we have Orca, who's an 11 power card now, or you can play him in his own lane. Thanos, Helicarrier, Giganto, great stats as well. You could also put him in the best pulls. Giganto is a bit limited on where to play him. And then, I just knocked them down just a peg, but they're also, 10 stats, 5 power, never a bad thing. Things like Apoc, Odin, if you can utilize them, they're good. Maybe play Odin on an Agent Coulson. Heimdall for the surprise factor, Chavez for the base stats. And I even think Ultron is good because your opponent is not going to expect that, and he can get you into some hard-to-reach locations. Now, Arnim Zola is one of those cards that the more you play with this deck, you're going to like him more, but at first, he can feel like a dead card. If you practice putting some cards in their own lane, I tend to like him a lot. And then when it comes to the bad pulls, guys, Infinite is almost never going to be usable. Yes, maybe you can skip turn 5, but you're going to want to play on turn 5. That's the purpose of the deck. Destroyer, most of the time, you don't want to get rid of all of your cards, unless you're in like a specific situation against hobgoblins. Spectrum just kind of always feels a bit lackluster. I guess in specific decks, you could boost up Quinjet and Zabu, but I'm not crazy about her. Hela and Null, again, we're just not playing that style of deck. Now, quickly, before we go to the decks, as far as like the MVPs go, we mainly need to talk about Collector. Now, Collector, guys, is a 2/2, yes, but man, every card in this deck is pretty much going to boost him up. Nick Fury is going to give him +3. Coulson's going to give him +2. Every Sentinel is +1. This guy goes way past his power value. Very good card. And then also now, if you have a card like Zabu down, you're able to play things like Agent Coulson and Nick Fury together to just generate an entire hand, which sometimes makes Moon Girl obsolete. I do include her in the deck when I do have She-Hulk or something that we'll go through in a minute. But definitely those are going to be the biggest surprise and combo plays because naturally Devil Dinosaur is not only going to be able to get big himself, but you can also buff up the Collector while putting up more additional power. And all this stuff is going to be cheap to play with Quinjet and then obviously Zabu. All right, so now that we know our options from Nick Fury, let's take a look at some decks. And we're going to start with one that's just kind of all about Fury and the Collector. Now, we call this obviously Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We are missing a couple of things like Helicarrier and Maria Hill. You can certainly plug that in for Sentinel. But this deck is obviously great in Conquest because it's all about card generation and also giving you a reliable card to play each and every turn. Now, Quinjet is the heartbeat of the deck. If you get the card down, you're looking pretty good to get the win. And then our other discount card in Zabu is going to help us out with cards like Agent Coulson Generation and all of the forecast cards that we can play. Now, Nick Fury is not my favorite card to play on turn 3. Really not much of a point of that, so do prioritize other cards, even things like Agent Coulson. Obviously, we can do the Coulson and Nick Fury combo to boost up our Devil Dinosaur. Shang-Chi to get rid of their biggest card, plus one of our other forecast cards is also something that works pretty well. And then, of course, you can always just rely purely on getting Quinjet down, and then playing around the 6-cost cards that Nick Fury can generate for you on turn 4. As our backup plans, we do have the Collector. Obviously, the earlier you play him, the better. He pretty much always has your priority to get him out as quickly as possible. And we want to play cards into Angela to boost them up a little bit more, namely Agent 13 and then obviously Kitty Pryde. The final tip I have for you with this deck is just make sure you spread out your ongoing cards. Things like Enchantress do exist, and you don't want to have Devil Dinosaur, Zabu, Quinjet all into one lane. And you want to make sure that the Collector is probably into a lane that you anticipate them storming, or just something that can be a bit tougher that you might want to build up later. Now, obviously, guys, White Queen, there are other cards that generate that can fit into the deck, but this is kind of the mold that's worked best for me. America Chavez is sometimes mentioned to go in as a 6-cost card here to give you a bit more dependability on your draws, but I personally like to play the deck to try to get the most use and surprise out of the Nick Fury 6-cost cards. All right, so moving on to what a lot of people wanted to see, and that is Nick Fury into a Rocks and Hawks mold. Obviously, guys, so much good generation coming from this deck, and this is obviously one of my favorites. Now, I did record this just days before the Infinity Conquest, and I can promise you guys the true Rocks and Hawks 2.0 video that's going to be dedicated for that deck will be coming out with Infinity Conquest gameplay, and obviously probably doing some good work in that as well. But I did want to mention the deck today, and I'll be taking it through some Gold Conquest. Now, this is the first version of the deck that I enjoy a ton with Iron Lad. You can swap him out for other options. I am going to get to that. But Iron Lad is going to get awesome value here in cards like Iron Man, Devil Dinosaur, and obviously Darkhawk, and the cards that boost those cards up. Mystique is a great one to play as well, because we're going to be able to copy anything that Nick Fury gives us, Agent Coulson, and then obviously Darkhawk, Iron Man, and Devil Dinosaur. We have all the 4-cost cards, just swarms of them to get discounted by Zabu. Now, Quinjet and Zabu, funny enough, I like to copy with Mystique from time to time, depending on what the situation calls, but getting double discount for either your 4-cost cards, allowing you to play multiple on turn 6, or on a double Quinjet is a lot better than you think. And sometimes just hanging on to her until you get, let's say, Darkhawk isn't always ideal. Now, there's a lot of kind of Rocks and Hawks floating out there, and this one does lack the Cosmo and the Moon Girl, so you are missing that. And the better you get with card generation, the better you're going to be with this deck. But for those that are, diehards of this kind of archetype, we are going to have a video dedicated for it. Now, to wrap up, I did want to say, if you didn't have Iron Lad, this is kind of a take on really the original builds of the deck before Cosmo and some of these other cards, and most notably, before the Aero nerf. Guys, yes, Aero's my favorite card. Just look at her. But I gotta say, she is by far the most disrespected card in Snap. People oftentimes just forget she exists, and you can beat the Hulks and High Evo and plenty of those other cards that rely on one big card on turn 6. And now with Dr. Doom being nerfed, we're seeing a lot less of him. Now, this version is going to play a lot like the one we just mentioned. But with this one, the good faithful Moon Girl is going to be there to go and copy so much, right? Your Agent Coulson cards, your Nick Fury cards, you're going to sometimes have too big of a hand. But by getting Devil Dinosaur, Moon Girl, you can play 2 of them, one only costing 4 cost. You have Aero that you can play 2 of, or you can just skip turn 5 altogether and play one of Nick Fury's cards. You can play Devil Dinosaur or Aero all together with She-Hulk. You can end up playing like your entire hand and just swarm the board with power. Feel free to go and put tech cards in here if you're uncomfortable not having Shang-Chi or Cosmo. Aero is replaceable. I just think she's great to counter a lot of the decks out there. And with this one in particular, you just want to watch out a little bit with card generation. Now, there's no doubt about it, guys. All of these decks are going to slap. I will say, look out for generating too much cards. It's easy to get carried away. Maria Hill, Moon Girl, Agent, you're going to have a full hand most of the time. So managing that hand, and then also perfecting the play of the 6-cost cards. I mean, there's a lot of options in the deck, and you're going to get better as you continue to play it, leaving a lane open for a possible Galactus, playing Devil Dinosaur in his own lane, and then being able to Arnim Zola that. There's a lot of minute details, and this may not be like a day one slapper, and we definitely want to perfect the deck. Now, with that being said, we're going to go ahead, eye patch and all, and head into Gold Conquest against the competition. But man, it has been a while. Oftentimes I don't get to play Rocks and Hawks because I'm playing other decks, trying to make videos. It's not often I get to pilot my my favorite, so I'm pumped. All right, well, Darkhawk already goes up to 5, a little bit of a bummer. Yep, that's about right. Okay, so this is cool. We can at least play both cards into Gamma Lab. I'm hopeful that this guy's not playing my evil deck from yesterday. I really don't want to play that deck right now. Okay. Well, he's gonna beat me in Gamma Lab, that's for sure. Well, and we can just tie, I guess. Do we even bother challenging it? Yeah, I suppose why not, right? All right, he gets the APOC. Discard's gonna be a little tough to beat. That being said, we know that he doesn't have a Shang-Chi, so we can play a little bit more loosey-goosey. All right, good stuff. We're going to play our Nick Fury this turn, see what we can get. We obviously get discounted rounds up ahead. Our Darkhawk is gone, and that means our Rock Slide is probably a pointless play. Let's go ahead and play Nick Fury right side. We're going to snap if we get a decent card.
Still believe in heroes.
So there's a lot of plays we could do. We're going to hope we get Devil, but either way, we're going to double the Quinjet, and that'll give us a little bit more flexibility on our card play. All right, with the one eye, let's pay attention to what he's doing here. All right, so he's got a couple swarms. He's got the APOC now at 16, which means the APOC's going to be a 20 burger. We probably lost. If it's 2, it's 2, and we can live. Yeah, this can be his Chavez. Yeah, it is what it is. So he'll get 2. We can live with it. Should I have left? Definitely. It is what it is, though. Yeah, we'll be okay. And we didn't show him anything that extra that we don't already, you know, think he knows we have. So good stuff there. We're going to lose by 1 in the middle either way. Pretty unfortunate 6 cost drops. You know, I think Nick Fury had a really good change. The one drawback, obviously, is that we can't control the 6 cost cards that we do get. And some of them are pretty bad. All right, guys, we're doing a little fast forwarding. He got he snapped and got Sokovia, and I saw the flop. Not good. We lost another 2 cubes. But, hey, listen, that's okay. Feel pretty confident. We got Mindscape, which is going to screw up his deck pretty heavily. And we don't want that Devil Dinosaur anyway, right? Who needs him? Who needs it? This is fantastic for what we got going on. We're going to snap. We're going to play aggressive here with our deck. And he's out of here. I think he knew very well that the middle location was ours. Right now, we are playing a snap and retreat game, which is a lot of fun. We have Superflow as our location and Quinjet. Sad day for Devil Dinosaur. You can almost guarantee that he's going to get cooked by the Spider Pig. And of course, he has it right on F and draw, guys. You just can't make it up. All right. At least our Nick Fury survived. And we might get a free pig out of this, which would be kind of bad. All right, he's got Morbius. We throw Nick down. Let's go.
Who they dig up this time?
Who they dig up this time, Nick? We got Odin that we can play back on top of our Nick Fury, which is kind of hilariously awesome. We could play these. We could play all of these cards if we so damn choose. Oh boy, things are getting a little dicey. I'm gonna snap into this, I guess. But my God, do we do nothing this turn? I would assume plausibly that's the case. I don't think we do a damn thing, guys. All right, Magneto's gonna be the winner of the day. And that being said, we can do a couple of things here. So he'll go over there. Helicarrier right side. We don't have to commit too much over here. Filling this up is bold. I totally hear you guys. But I'm a bold man. All right, he's filling that up early. We're going to also bring that Swordmaster over to our side, right? So he's definitely not expecting that. Whatever we play now is got to go in the middle, clearly. And I think we'll just get more Nick Fury cards. And then we're just going to Magneto everything. He's got to play MODOK in the middle. Which we will beat that. And this is going to be a good round for us, guys. This is our catch-up round. Even though we lost Devil Dinosaur, I feel pretty good about it.
Still believe in heroes.
We got Infinite.
Enough said, bub.
Alrighty, snapping, guys. So as long as he doesn't fill this out... Actually, he didn't play MODOK, so we're good there. Move those two over. Oh, man, that's where Nick comes in handy, dude. Sometimes you get garbage cards, and sometimes you get stuff like that, which is just so massive. There's, you know, the amount of 6 drops that are good, which you guys saw at the beginning, far outweigh the ones that are bad. This guy's got 3 health. We did a lot of back and forth. We were patient, and I think this guy is done. Yeah, I think he's done. No, he just needed some time to process what happened. I can't see a damn thing. All right, he has MODOK. We know that for sure. Let's get our Quinjet down, and we're going to just play passively. We're going to play passively here. And he gets rid of his own MODOK, which was actually, with the Quinjet, he just gave us a 4-8, you know? We'll take that. Mindscape, I would assume, is pretty good for us. Because, again, that's going to jack up his whole game plan. We could probably aggressively snap here. But it's only like he has 1 more left, so it's not like he's got much going else in the tank. All right, he doesn't have swarms yet. Good to know. Limbo's the last location. So the Mystique doesn't do much for him. If we give him that, we would lose it on turn 6. The pig's just pure stats, if we're being honest. We might want to play the pig now. And we got Nick. So we're going to play Nick. If we play Nick, we give him a lot of potential options. Which he could also play into Limbo either way. But I want to build my collector up. So we're going to go ahead and play Nick left side. And we're going to hopefully play the best card that Nick gives us, right? Ooh. Okay, well, guys, do we do it? Do we do it? Do we think he's going to play right side? We give him some good cards if we whiff here. We give him some good cards, but we get rid of Mindscape. Right? Let's do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. This feels like the most anti-Nick Fury thing ever. And we get a null. So I'm just going to say that was a pretty good play. Oh my god, we just go Null and Mystique. He doesn't have a Shang-Chi. All right. He's going to retreat. Come on. Okay, we're going to fast forward. This guy's not going to come back. If he does, I'll make a video in his name. Well, not in his name because, you know, I get demonetized. But anyway, really good showcase of how Nick Fury can continue to give us a lot of examples to get out of things. Now, guys, I'll say this card is a lot harder to beat than you think, man. It's just so dependable power. He did a good job. It came down to 1 point a couple times. Anyway, all right, now we go into battle number 2, and we're going to change the deck up just a little bit. I've switched this kind of She-Hulk version that the Rocks and Hawks that I know and love, if you will. I love the idea of doing like a discounted Nick Fury play with She-Hulk, or just having double She-Hulk with Moon Girl, and it gives us a bit more options. Probably going to want to include a tech card in here. Haven't decided, and or Iron Lad could fit. But here we go. We have Savage Land as our first location. And since we have a lot of big cards, I suppose we can just put Zabu here. And let's see what we're up against with Space Bears. Okay, we have the Nexus. I think that's just fine. We could play double. Man, Nick here is kind of cool. I also like Moon Girl. Both are really good. I think we're going to go with Moon Girl. We only have so many turns, but yeah, I think Moon Girl's the play here. He's going to go Bishop. So this tells me that he probably has clearly a Shang-Chi. I feel like Shang-Chi's always with Bishop because it's Sarah control. It's the Kitty Dex, right? Those kind of things. Now, a little bit of an awkward play here. But we're going to go with something like this. I'll be honest, I don't really want priority. I'd rather do something like this, and then we can skip and get the double She-Hulks, and I think this is a guaranteed win as long as we play it somewhat careful. Yo, guys, I really like what we can do. So we can essentially play... The only problem is we can't play both She-Hulks discounted. Because if we play him here now, I think he can do the whole... I think he can screw me with the priority, yeah? Now, if the way we get screwed here is if he... we're going to do nothing. The way we get screwed here... I don't know, man. I feel pretty good. He only has so many places to play. We know this is the 4. He has 14 here technically, right? 18, 23. Can he beat 23, guys? I don't think so, man. It's only 6, though. We're going to snap. Here we go. Okay, well, we're good to go there. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna beat this, guys. I'd be shocked. Bam. Bam. With the Nick Fury. Even if he gets a 4 here, won't catch him up on that left side, though. Goes up a little bit. It was close, man. It was really close. We risked a lot there. He did, too. But the She-Hulk, that's why I switched to... This is like the perfect game to show why I switched to the double She-Hulk. All right, so we're going to do a little fast forwarding here. Space Bears got a couple of lives off of me. Wasn't a bad round. Had some fun here, but the Raft unfortunately gave us Infinite, and he was able to get Giganto and clutch up the win. Next round, we fell to an Enchantress on our Darkhawk, so kind of a good reminder, just always watch out, obviously, if they're playing Sarah Control, that you can lose to that, but with the healthy lead, felt pretty confident going in, which takes us to the last battle, and, well, we cleaned up old Space Bears. All right, guys, and just like that, battle number 2 is done and done. We were able to take care of Space Bears with the strong She-Hulk, double She-Hulk action. We go into our last battle here, and we're going to stick with the same deck. I think this has been pretty damn good. It's the final battle, and we got Hooray Jackal. And now the one thing I'll say about this deck, guys, is I will say you gotta play with it a lot to really be good with it. This is not one that you can look at a deck list and just do well. You have a lot of value cards, but there's just so much moving pieces on how to get the most value out of the deck. So do keep that in mind. Oh my god, why is this guy snapping right now? We don't know what his deck is. I'm assuming it's something pretty good. He probably has like an Electro or something. All right, he kills my Zabu. He goes Forge here. So he's got what I would assume is this Nimrod. Maybe a Nimrod deck, but Wakanda helps us out, I would imagine. Let's go to play Agent Coulson and see what this guy has, man. I don't know why he would snap so soon, but maybe it's a Deadpool deck. Maybe it's a Nimrod deck. I think this side hurts him a lot. Nakia. What in the absolute hell? Playing Nakia in Game 3 was not what I was expecting. I can tell you guys that much. Let's go ahead and go Darkhawk here. We have the Devil Dinosaur She-Hulk turn 5 skip. Just depending on what he's going to do. Okoye? Is he going to go Nimrod? What? Is he going to go Nimrod like Galactus? What is he doing here? I don't know, but what I do know is we're probably okay. Let's just hold our cubes and see what he does. Interesting. There's so much, guys, that we can do here. You know what I think we do, guys? I think I'm going to go with She-Hulk here, Devil Dino here. We tie 9 and 8. He'd have to have the perfect spread out here. I'm a little hesitant to snap because we don't know what he has, really. But he has Prio too, dude. I'm going to snap. If he plays like the perfect hand, good for him. But I guess if he has like an Enchantress right side or like a Rogue and then he takes it and then he wins the tiebreaker, then there's that. Oh my god, we won by 1. No, he got rid of a card, so we won just all together, obviously. I thought he was going to boost that up. This was game 3? What? What is it? What in the eye patch is he playing? Red Skull deck with Forge? Okay. I don't know how this works, but I'm like 99% sure this guy's got to also be in game 3. I think so, and if this is the deck that he decided to bring in, wowzer. All right, guys, we're gonna fast forward here, but we did end up winning the last battle here. Again, like the She-Hulk version, I also like the collective version. Both are great, and I think they're only gonna get better, and we get more 6-cost cards with Nick Fury in the future, which is exciting to see even more variance within the deck. I'm having a feeling a lot of people are testing out these new cards, and sorry, you know, I don't want to kill the illusion. I have a feeling a lot of these people are testing out these new cards, figuring out how they work, but that was quite the interesting build to not only test it like proven grounds, but on game 3 in Gold Conquest. That's beyond me. But you know what? I feel like maybe I deserve that look after the atrocity that was in the Pure Evil deck guide. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. All right, guys. Well, I'm excited about the future of Rocks and Hawks and Nick Fury. I think it's a really good buff. Surely will not be my last video as I continue to perfect the deck. Appreciate you guys so much, and hopefully if you guys have found anything cool, comment it down below. As always, guys, we're trying to get to 100,000 subs, so if you enjoy the content, sub down below. And until the next one, happy snapping.